Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. For the past few days there were a lot of articles talking about Severodonetsk, Ukraine. There's fierce battles over there between the Russians and the Ukrainians. And curiously, some mass media articles that I saw, they don't mention the city by name in the title, for instance. They use different ways to identify it. So for instance, they say key eastern city. I found this in Reuters and I found it in other articles. So they don't talk about Severodonetsk in the title, or they mention it. They mention it as a key eastern city, and that's a very important location, very important city. Now articles that I found were like this. About 4 days ago, I guess, 4 days, it says the Russians have about 60% of the city. The Ukrainians are having the rest. Then no, the Russians have 80% of the city, 10% like gray area, and 10% the Ukrainians control. Then no, the Russians control, this was the title, most of the city, which I don't know how much that is, but then you reach down and it says about 90% of the city, with the Ukrainians retreating into the and controlling the industrial area of the city, not the residential. The Russians have the residential. If the Ukrainians went back to the industrial side of the city, like Azovstal. Remember Azovstal steel plant in Mariupol? So, and I posted a video regarding the same issue. Are these guys doing the same Azovstal part 2 or something? I mean, they didn't learn anything from there. What are they defending over there? Nevertheless, so what I'm trying to say is that it's a lot of mixed information. Now, I don't know, maybe the front moves left, right, west, east, west. Today, the Ukrainians are counterattacking and they gain some territory. Then the other ones, I don't know what's going on over there. But my point is that they don't refer to that as Severodonetsk most of the time. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Now, this article comes from the U.S. Mass media. And the other one that I have, for instance, Mr. Zelensky, the president of the state of Ukraine, when he talks about Severodonetsk, he said in an article before that we might think to retreat. We have to retreat and regroup behind the Severodonetsk. We have to let it go. But no, because if we let it go, it's going to be harder to go back and get it. So there were thoughts like this and talks like this. And then, no, we didn't lose. We're still there. We're still fighting. We have to fight, and so on. So there are information that is really contradicts itself from time to time. Then this article that I have here, it's from Reuters, and it's from 2 days ago. It's from the 7th of 2022, and it says Russia pushes Ukrainian forces to the outskirts of key eastern city. Now, in the same time, there were articles saying the same day, articles saying that no, that actually the Ukrainians push the Russians back and so on, and all kind of things. Now, according to this, these guys were pushed to the outskirts. I correlate that with the other one where it says that they are retreating and they're regrouping, and the other one that says there's like three articles that correlate the information. The other one that the Ukrainians control the industrial part of the city, not the residential. So it says here that the key eastern city is Severodonetsk. Russian forces step up assaults to capture key Luhansk city. Ukrainians may retrench but won't give up, fight, governor. Turkey, Russia, that's a different thing over there. It says here, June 8th right now. So it's June 8th, and this article, it says from June 7th. So I don't understand what's going on here. I'm assuming it's June 8th and one side, and then it was 7, probably United States when it was done, but probably in Ukraine is already the next day. So I'm assuming that's why it's 8 here. So June 8th, Ukrainian forces pulled back. Ukrainian forces pulled back. That means I retreat, I go back. Now I can retreat to swing back, but that's a different story. Ukrainian forces pulled back to the outskirts of the eastern city of Severodonetsk on Wednesday. So Wednesday, it was what? Yesterday, the 8th. The regional government said another big swing in momentum in one of the bloodiest battles of the war. Russia has concentrated its troops and firepower on a small industrial city in recent weeks to secure the surrounding province on behalf of the separatist proxies. Ukraine has vowed to fight there for as long as possible, okay, Azovstal, saying the battle could help shape the war's course. After announcing a surprise counterattack last week, the government of the surrounding Luhansk region said on Wednesday that most of the city was again in Russian hands. And I'm quoting, "Our forces now again control only outskirts of the city, but the fighting is still going on." Ukrainian forces still controlled all of the smaller twin city Lysychansk on the west bank of the Severodonetsk river by Russian forces were destroying residential buildings there. Russian troops have 10 times more equipment than Russian troops in some parts of Severodonetsk, Ukraine's defense minister reported. Ukraine wants its Western allies to give more accelerate delivery of weapons, warning that Russia could break through its line in the east. All right, so this is what is, and the United Nations figures show more than 7 million people have crossed the border from Ukraine since Russia invaded. That's an extra thing. So this is what it is with this, and I'm going to go back to what Mr. Zelensky said here. Let me find the article when he is saying, this is an article from Ukrainska Pravda, so Ukraine news outlet, obviously. It's from yesterday, 8th June, over there, so probably it was 7th in the same time, probably. It says, Zelensky, the fate of Donbas is being decided in Severodonetsk. And it says, Severodonetsk, President Zelensky said that Severodonetsk still remains the epicenter of the confrontation in Donbas. According to him, the fate of Donbas is now being decided there. He had said that in an address to Ukrainians at the end of the 105 days of the war. And I'm quoting, according to the results of this day, the 105th day of the full-scale war, Severodonetsk remains in the epicenter of the confrontation in Donbas. Well, the same day, they said it's almost done. You're at the outskirts. So which one is it? I posted another video before, and it was the day before, or 2 days before, I think a day before, yesterday, I think, where I was using Zelensky's speech, where he said that they need to regroup and possibly retreat and regroup, but it's going to be harder to take it back. So what should we do? We're thinking of retreating. Now this guy said, yeah, we already got back to the outskirts and the industrial side of the city. So the Russians are advancing slowly, but advancing, I don't know, that's methodically, or just they can't do it faster, because you don't want to go too fast. If you remember the Blitzkrieg, what the Germans did in the Second World War, they attacked France not by avoiding the Maginot Line. You know, the French built a long north to south line of defense, you know, with trenches, with locations where they have artillery. It was impenetrable, because they thought it was going to be like the First World War, the same thing. And they did it from the north to the south, where they thought it was the more vulnerable. And the Germans did, okay, we're going to do this with the Blitzkrieg. They went above it through Belgium, and they came around, and that they did it fast. They did it fast. That was the Blitzkrieg, like a spear. You know, the tanks go first, and you know, the supplies follow. Now, if the tanks and all the spear, the tip goes too far, then these guys remain too far behind. You know, there's the chance that they get broken up, and then they could get attacked, and these guys come and surround them. So the same thing here. You don't want to do a blitzkrieg here in this case, unless you do it in two areas, like in let's consider that Stalingrad. In Stalingrad, that's how they did it. 2 times. And encircled the army. I think it was the 4th Army or whatever. I think that's where they broke, actually, in the south, by you know, I think it was the 4th Army of German Army, Wehrmacht, whatever. So we go back to this. maybe the Americans, not yet. The Russians are methodically going in. They're not going with the blitz tactic of going spearheaded, bam, spearhead over there. They probably did at the beginning, how they surrounded Mariupol and so on, but it seems like they go methodically. So that's why it could be considered as slowly. But on the other hand, they use the same tactic they use in Syria, going around and surrounding the city and then negotiating and doing corridors of safety and, you know, aid and blah, blah, blah. Well, thank you very much, and for being with me again today. Severodonetsk is in bad shape and will be in bad shape if you're going back. How we're going to go? Anyway, we'll find out, but I think it's all done over there. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.